What if I told you one of the most powerful secrets to sleeping deeper, feeling happier, and easing the daily stresses of life after 50 isn't found in a prescription bottle or an expensive wellness retreat? What if I told you this secret is a form of self-care you already possess, but have probably been taught to quietly ignore for decades? We're going to talk about something very personal today, a topic whispered about but rarely discussed with the honesty it deserves: emotional and physical intimacy with ourselves. It's a natural, normal part of being human, yet society often makes us feel that these feelings should simply fade away with age. But I'm here to tell you they don't. And embracing them is an act of profound self-love and essential for our well-being. The question we're afraid to ask: is desire ageless? Let's start with a question that I know is on many of your minds, even if you've never said it out loud. Once we've hit our 50s, 60s, or 70s, are we supposed to be done with desire? Is that chapter of our lives meant to be closed, packed away with old photo albums and memories of our younger selves? Society often gives us a resounding, unspoken yes. We're told, in subtle and not so subtle ways, that our primary roles, as parents, as builders of careers, as caregivers, are winding down. And with them, so should our personal passions and physical feelings. But I'm here to ask you a different question, a much more honest one. Does your heart have an age? Think about it. Does a beautiful sunset stop moving you once you get your AARP card? Does the joy of hearing a favorite song from your youth fade with each new wrinkle? Of course not. A warm hug, a shared laugh, a quiet evening feeling connected and at peace. These are things we crave our entire lives. Our emotional world doesn't simply expire on our 65th birthday. So why on earth would we believe that our desire for intimacy and closeness, one of the most fundamental human experiences, is any different? The truth is, it isn't. As I mentioned in our introduction, these feelings don't just disappear. They might change, certainly. They might become quieter, more tender, or more entwined with emotional connection than the fiery passions of our 20s. But they are still there, a gentle, persistent hum beneath the surface of our daily lives. I've spent over 2 decades speaking with women from all walks of life, and this is a reoccurring, deeply felt theme. I've sat with so many women who feel a sense of loneliness that is hard to put into words. It's not just about being physically alone. Many are married or live with their families. It's a deeper feeling of being emotionally unseen, of having a part of themselves that no one acknowledges or asks about anymore. Let's imagine a woman we'll call Carol. Carol is 68. She lost her husband a few years ago, and her kids are grown and have their own families. She has friends, she volunteers, she keeps busy. But at night, when the house is quiet, she feels an ache of loneliness. Her friends tell her to join a book club or take up gardening. Her kids call and ask if she's eating right, but no one asks if she misses the simple feeling of being held, of gentle touch, of feeling wanted and alive in her own skin. She feels this need, this quiet desire for closeness, and immediately feels a wave of guilt. Am I supposed to be feeling this way at my age? Is there something wrong with me? Or consider Susan, who is 62 and has been married for 40 years. She and her husband are good partners. They manage the household, they care for each other. But the physical part of their relationship faded years ago due to his health issues and their own exhaustion. But Susan's feelings haven't faded. She still feels a longing for intimacy, but she would never dare bring it up. She's afraid of making her husband feel bad, and she's ashamed of her own needs. So she pushes them down, telling herself it's silly to want such things anymore. Carol and Susan's stories are incredibly common. For generations, and especially for women, we were taught a very specific narrative. Our worth was tied to our ability to attract a partner and raise a family. We were taught to be selfless, to put the needs of our husbands and children before our own. Talking about our own desires was considered unladylike, selfish, or even shameful. Now, after a lifetime of following those rules, we're left in a strange new territory. The kids are gone, our bodies have changed through menopause, and our relationships have evolved. And yet, the core of who we are, a person with feelings, needs, and a desire for connection, remains. This is where we need to introduce a new perspective, one grounded in health, wellness, and radical self-acceptance. It's the idea of self-intimacy, or what some people plainly call self-pleasure. And I know that for many, even hearing that term can bring up feelings of discomfort or embarrassment. But I want us to reframe this. This isn't about something sordid or wrong. It's about self-love. It is a natural, healthy, and profoundly kind way to listen to your own body and honor your own feelings when there may be no one else there to provide it. It's not a replacement for a partner. It is a fundamental pillar of self-care, just as vital as eating nutritious food, getting fresh air, or moving your body. Think about it this way. When you have a knot in your shoulder, you might rub it to ease the tension. When you feel stressed, you might take a warm bath to soothe your mind. Attending to your own need for intimate touch is no different. It's a biological and emotional release. When you engage in this kind of gentle self-care, your body releases a wonderful cascade of hormones like endorphins and oxytocin. These are your body's natural feel-good chemicals. They lower stress, ease anxiety, and create a sense of calm and well-being. It's no wonder that many women I've spoken to have discovered, much to their surprise, that rediscovering this part of themselves has led to incredible benefits. They tell me, Dr. Allen, I'm sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Or I feel less irritable with my grandkids. I just feel more content. Some even say their skin looks better, that they have a certain glow. This isn't magic, it's science. It's the physical manifestation of reduced stress and increased happiness. The most important step is the first one, giving yourself permission. Permission to feel what you feel without judgment. Permission to acknowledge that you are still a vibrant, feeling human being. Your needs are valid. Your desires are normal. You don't have to hide from yourself. By simply accepting that this part of you still exists, you are already halfway to healing the loneliness and sense of invisibility that so many feel. Because no matter your age, you deserve to feel whole, happy, and at home in your own body.
The surprising secret to a good night's sleep. How did you sleep last night? For so many of us over 50, that question can be a loaded one. We lie down exhausted, but our minds race. We toss and turn, trying to find a comfortable position. We might drift off, only to find ourselves wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, and worrying about everything from our finances to our family. It's one of the most common complaints I hear, a deep, frustrating inability to get a truly restful night's sleep. Naturally, we look for solutions. Many of us turn to sleeping pills. They seem like a quick fix, a simple way to force our brains to switch off. But we also know, deep down, the downsides that come with them. There's the fear of dependency, of not being able to sleep without them. There's a groggy, hungover feeling the next morning, as if you're moving through a fog. And for our age group, there's a very real and serious concern, the increased risk of falls. A moment of dizziness or an unsteady step in the middle of the night can have major consequences. So we find ourselves in a difficult position, suffer through sleepless nights, or risk the side effects of medication. But what if the key wasn't in the medicine cabinet at all? What if, as we began to explore in the last section, the answer lies within our own bodies? The connection between honoring our own intimate needs and achieving deep, restorative sleep is one of the most powerful, yet overlooked wellness secrets there is. It might sound strange at first, but the science behind it is wonderfully simple. When you engage in gentle, loving self-touch that leads to feelings of pleasure and release, your brain chemistry changes dramatically. It releases a powerful, all-natural cocktailed hormones that are basically nature's own sleep medicine. First, you get a rush of endorphins, which are your body's natural pain relievers and mood elevators. They create a feeling of peace and contentment. Then comes oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone or bonding hormone. It reduces anxiety and fosters feelings of calm and security. It's the same hormone that makes you feel relaxed and safe after a warm, heartfelt hug. Finally, after this release, the brain produces prolactin, a hormone that is directly linked to feelings of sleepiness and deep satisfaction. This hormonal cascade is the perfect recipe for sleep. It quiets the racing thoughts, it relaxes the tension in your muscles, it gently lowers the volume on your worries and anxieties, allowing your body to do what it's naturally meant to do: rest and repair. Think of it like this. After a long, stressful day, a comforting back rub from a loved one can melt your worries away and make you feel sleepy. This form of self-intimacy is a way you can provide that same profound sense of soothing relaxation for yourself anytime you need it. But the benefits don't stop when you fall asleep. The simple act of self-care creates a ripple effect throughout your entire well-being. As I mentioned in our introduction, many women I've worked with notice a host of other positive changes. For example, this activity increases blood flow throughout the body, including to the pelvic region. For postmenopausal women, this can be incredibly beneficial. It can help maintain the health and elasticity of tissues, potentially easing some of the dryness and discomfort that are so common during this phase of life. The deep relaxation it provides can also help lower blood pressure and ease the chronic aches and pains in our backs and joints that often come from persistent stress and tension. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Diane. At 72, Diane was the classic insomniac. She tried everything: herbal teas, meditation apps, and eventually a nightly sleeping pill that left her feeling like a zombie until lunchtime. She was worried about her memory and her balance. When she first heard about this concept of self-pleasure as a wellness tool, she was skeptical, even a little embarrassed. But she was also desperate for a real solution. She decided to try it, reframing it in her mind not as something taboo, but as a private therapeutic practice. After a couple of weeks, something shifted. She found that on the night she took a few minutes for herself, in a calm and gentle way, she fell asleep more easily. The sleep she got was deeper, more solid. She started waking up feeling genuinely refreshed. The morning fog began to lift. She told me, "Dr. Allen, it's not just about the sleep. I feel more patient. I have more energy for my grandkids. I feel more like myself again." She was eventually able to cut back on her sleeping pills, which was a huge victory for her. Diane's story shows us that this isn't just about satisfying a physical urge. It's a holistic practice. It's about calming the nervous system, balancing your hormones, and releasing the accumulated stress of the day. When you compare this to the alternatives, the cost and side effects of medication, or the complexities of hormone replacement therapy, this approach is truly remarkable. It's free, it's always available, and it empowers you to take an active role in your own health and happiness. Of course, to get these wonderful benefits, it's essential that we approach this practice in a way that is safe, comfortable, and respectful of our bodies as they are today. Our bodies at 60 are different than they were at 30, and that's a beautiful thing that requires care and understanding. In our next section, we'll dive deeper into the practical side of this, discussing how to ensure this act of self-love is always gentle, safe, and free from any risk of pain or injury. A guide to gentle self-care, safety and comfort first. In our last section, we talked about the wonderful natural sleep benefits that come from this form of self-care. But I know there's another, very important question that might be holding you back. I've heard it many times from my patients. A woman will tell me, in a quiet voice, "Dr. Allen, I tried once, but it wasn't comfortable, even a little painful. I was worried I did something wrong, so I just stopped." That sentiment is completely understandable, and it breaks my heart because it means that a path to comfort and well-being was accidentally closed off due to a lack of the right information. If this experience sounds familiar, please know you did nothing wrong. The issue isn't you. It's that no one ever teaches us how to adapt to our changing bodies with kindness and wisdom. So today we're going to change that. We're going to talk very practically and frankly about how to ensure this experience is always gentle, comfortable, and completely safe. First, we need to acknowledge a simple biological truth. The body you have in your 60s and 70s is different from the one you had in your 30s, and that is perfectly okay. After menopause, due to lower estrogen levels, the tissues in the pelvic area naturally become thinner, more delicate, and less naturally lubricated. Think of it like the difference between young, supple skin and skin that has seen more sun in years.
It's more sensitive and needs a gentler touch. This means that an approach that worked years ago might be too much now. The key to rediscovering comfort is not force, but finesse. The golden rule here, above all else, is gentleness. So let's build a simple 3-step framework for safe and pleasurable self-care. I call it the prepare, be gentle, and listen method. Step 1. Prepare. Just as you would wash your hands before preparing a meal, a few moments of preparation can make all the difference. The most important part of this is hygiene. Always begin with clean hands, and be mindful of your fingernails. Keep them trimmed and filed smooth to avoid any accidental scratches on your delicate skin. The second part of preparation is creating a comfortable environment. As we've discussed, the goal here is relaxation. You can't relax if you're worried about being interrupted or if the room is cold and clinical. Give yourself the gift of a truly private, peaceful moment. Maybe this is after a warm bath or shower, when your body is already relaxed. You could dim the lights, play some soft, calming music, or use a lavender-scented pillow spray. Turn this into your own personal wellness ritual. And the final, and perhaps most crucial part of preparation is ensuring proper lubrication. This is not optional, especially after menopause. It is essential for comfort and safety. Using a high-quality personal lubricant prevents the friction that can cause irritation and pain. When you go to the pharmacy or drugstore, look for a water-based lubricant. They're the best choice because they're gentle, easy to clean up, and won't damage sensitive tissues. Be sure to choose one that is free of colors, fragrances, or flavors, as these unnecessary additives can sometimes cause irritation. Don't be shy about buying it. It's a health and wellness product, just like moisturizer or vitamin D. You are simply taking care of your body. Step 2. Be gentle. Now that you've prepared, the next step is the approach itself. Remember that golden rule? Gentleness is everything. Start slowly. Begin with touch on the outside of your body first. This is a journey of rediscovery, not a race to a destination. Give your body and mind time to respond. If you are using your hands, use a light touch. The goal is to find what feels calming and pleasurable to you today, in this moment. Step 3. Listen. This is the most important step of all. Your body is your best guide. It will always tell you what it needs if you take the time to listen. If you feel any sensation of pinching, stinging, or pain, that is your body's clear signal to stop or change what you're doing. Do not push through discomfort. This is not about endurance, it's about enjoyment and release. This practice is for you and you alone. There are no expectations to meet or performance to give. Some days, just a few moments of quiet touch might be all you need to feel calm and connected. Other days, you may desire more. Both are perfectly fine. The goal is not necessarily to achieve a specific grand finale, but to enjoy the peaceful, relaxing journey of getting back in touch with yourself. I also want to share a proactive health tip that can greatly enhance comfort over time. It's an exercise you can do anytime, anywhere, called the Kegel. It's very simple. You just gently squeeze the same muscles you would use to stop the flow of urine. Hold the squeeze for 3 to 5 seconds, then release completely. If you do a set of 10 of these a few times a day, you will be strengthening your pelvic floor muscles. This improves blood flow to the area, which can help with tissue health, and it can also increase your sensitivity in a pleasant way. By following this simple framework, prepare, be gentle, and listen, you transform this act from something uncertain into a safe, reliable, and deeply loving ritual of self-care. You are honoring your body, respecting its changes, and giving it the kindness it so richly deserves.
Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Falling in love with yourself again. There's a particular kind of silence that can settle into a house in the evening. It's not just quiet, it feels empty. You hear the hum of the refrigerator, the tick of a clock on the wall, and in that stillness, a profound feeling of being alone can wash over you. It's a feeling that many of us, whether we are widowed, divorced, or even in a marriage that has grown distant, know all too well. It's not a craving for food or entertainment, it's a soul-deep ache for connection, for the simple comfort of another person's presence. In our society,
We often equate being alone with being lonely, as if they are the same thing. We see it as a problem to be solved. Well-meaning friends and family will say, "You should get out more, join a club, take a class, find a new hobby." And while those things can be wonderful, they don't always touch that deeper need. Because here is a truth that took me years to fully understand. You can be in a room full of people and still feel utterly alone. True loneliness isn't about the absence of other people, it's about the absence of meaningful connection. And what if the most important and healing connection you've been missing is the one with yourself? Let's think about the life of a woman from your generation. For decades, your primary role was likely defined by your relationships to others. You were a wife, a mother, a daughter, an employee, a caregiver. Your days were filled with taking care of everyone else's needs, packing lunches, driving to soccer practice, nursing sick children, supporting a spouse's career, and managing a household. Your own needs, your own desires, your own quiet feelings were often placed on a dusty shelf in the back of your mind. There simply wasn't time. It wasn't that you didn't matter, it's that everyone else had to come first. Now the house is quiet. The children are grown and living their own lives. Your career may be over. And in this new, unfamiliar space, you're left with you. It can feel jarring and strange. But I want to invite you to see this phase of life not as an ending, but as a powerful, beautiful beginning. This is your time to finally take that dusty box off the shelf, open it up, and get reacquainted with the person inside. This is where the practice of self-intimacy, which we've been discussing, becomes so much more than just a tool for better sleep or physical release. It becomes an act of profound self-reclamation. When you take the time to gently and lovingly touch your own body, you are sending yourself a powerful message. I am here. I see you. I value you. You are worthy of pleasure and tenderness. It is a way of giving yourself the comfort and affection you may be longing for from the outside world. It's a way to wrap yourself in a hug when there's no one else there to do it. Let's imagine a woman we'll call Margaret. She lost her husband of 45 years and felt like half of herself was gone. The silence in their home was deafening. Her nights were the worst. She told me, "I don't just miss him, Dr. Allen. I miss being seen. I miss the person I was when I was with him." After we talked, she began a small, private ritual. A few nights a week, she'd have a cup of chamomile tea, put on the old Frank Sinatra records her husband used to love, and just spend a few minutes focusing on herself. At first, it was just about calming her anxiety, but over time, she started to rediscover her own body, learning what felt good to her, separate from her life as a wife. She told me, "It's not about replacing my husband. No one could ever do that. It's about remembering that I'm still a whole person on my own." What Margaret discovered is that this practice isn't about forgetting a partner or replacing a relationship. It's about remembering yourself. It's a form of therapy. You are quite literally healing the parts of yourself that have been neglected for so long. It is an act of radical self-love in a world that taught you to always love others first. And there's an unexpected and beautiful side effect to this. By becoming your own source of comfort and affection, you actually become a more resilient and joyful person overall. You are no longer waiting for someone else to fill your emotional cup. You are learning to fill it yourself. This creates a sense of independence and inner peace that is unshakable. You can then go out into the world to your book clubs, your volunteer work, your time with family, not out of a desperate need to cure your loneliness, but as a whole person, ready to share your light. Your life story is not over. This chapter, the one that comes after the hustle and bustle has quieted down, is not an epilogue. It is the main event. It is the time for you to become the lead character in your own life again. Being alone is not a sentence to a life of sadness. It is an invitation to fall in love with the most important person you will ever know.
Weaving it all together, your path to a vibrant, fulfilling life. Over the last few minutes, we've journeyed through some very personal territory together. We started by asking that brave question, as we did in our first section: does desire have an expiration date? And we answered with a resounding no. We discovered that our emotional and physical feelings are a vital, ageless part of who we are. Then, as we explored in our second section, we uncovered a remarkable, all-natural secret to better sleep and a calmer mind, not in the pill bottle, but within our own bodies, through the power of hormonal release that comes from self-intimacy. We followed that with a practical, step-by-step guide, the Prepare, Be Gentle, and Listen method, to ensure that this journey of self-discovery is always safe, comfortable, and respectful of the beautiful bodies we have today. And just now, we reframed the very idea of being alone, seeing it not as a state of lack, but as a golden opportunity to fall in love with ourselves again. Now, let's tie all of these threads together, because this isn't about just one thing. It's not just about sleep, or physical release, or easing loneliness. It's about a complete shift in perspective. It's about embracing a holistic vision of wellness for this incredible chapter of our lives. A vision where your emotional health, your physical well-being, and your sense of self-worth are all deeply interconnected. For too long, the conversation around aging, especially for women, has been about decline. It's been about managing symptoms, fighting wrinkles, and accepting limitations. But what if we rewrite that story? What if we see this time as one of integration and empowerment? Let's go back to our examples. Think of Carol, the 68-year-old widow who felt guilty for her own desires. By giving herself permission to feel, she's not just satisfying a need, she's affirming her right to exist as a full, vibrant human being. Think of Susan, 62, and in a loving but physically distant marriage. By learning to provide her own sense of intimate comfort, she isn't betraying her husband. She's taking responsibility for her own happiness, which in turn can make her a more patient and content partner. And think of Diane, our 72-year-old insomniac. By using this natural method to find rest, she isn't just sleeping better. She's regaining her clarity, her energy, and her confidence. What all these stories show us is that this simple, private act of self-love has benefits that ripple out into every corner of your life. When you are less stressed and better rested, you have more patience for your grandchildren. You have more energy for your hobbies and friends. When you feel more at home and comfortable in your own body, you carry yourself with a different kind of confidence. It's a quiet strength, an inner peace that radiates outward. This is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's looking at the life you have built, the body that has carried you through decades of joy and struggle, and saying, "Thank you. Now it's my turn to take care of you." It's a profound acknowledgement that you are not just the sum of your past roles.
You are a living, breathing, feeling person right here, right now. And you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel pleasure. You deserve to feel peaceful. I want you to imagine two different paths forward. On one path, we continue to follow the old unspoken rules. We ignore our feelings, push them down, and tell ourselves they're inappropriate for our age. We might feel increasingly isolated, a bit more anxious each year, and struggle with restless nights, believing this is just an unavoidable part of getting older. But then there's the other path. On this path, we decide to be our own best friend. We listen to our bodies with compassion. We give ourselves permission to feel, to explore, and to experience pleasure in a way that is safe and loving. On this path, we sleep more deeply. We feel a quiet, steady sense of contentment. We navigate our solitary moments, not with dread, but with a sense of peaceful self-reliance. This isn't a path of selfishness. It's a path of profound wellness. It's the path that leads to what I call vibrant aging, where we don't just live longer, we live better. We live with more joy, more peace, and a deeper connection to the one person who will be with us for the entire journey, ourselves. The choice of which path to take is entirely yours, but I hope our conversation today has illuminated that second path and shown you just how accessible and beautiful it can be. It requires no special equipment, no expensive memberships, just a little bit of courage, a lot of self-compassion, and the willingness to listen to your own heart. So we've come to the end of our conversation today, but I hope for you it's just the beginning of a new way of thinking and feeling. We've talked about some deeply personal things, the timeless nature of desire, the surprising link between self-care and sleep, and the profound act of loving yourself, especially in life's quiet moments. My greatest hope is that you leave this video feeling a little lighter, not because you have all the answers, but because you know you are not alone in your questions. The feelings and thoughts you have are normal, natural, and valid. You have a right to feel joy, to seek comfort, and to live a full and vibrant life at every age. The most important person to give you that permission is you. Life after 50 can be a time of incredible peace and self-discovery, but it all starts with listening, truly listening to your own body and your own heart. Treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion you've so generously given to others all your life. If what we talked about today resonated with you, please help us share this important message. Give this video a like so more people can find it, and consider sharing it with a friend who might need to hear this too. And if you'd like to join us for more warm, honest conversations like this one, be sure to click that subscribe button and join our community here at Channel Name. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Be well, be kind to yourself, and remember to smile. You've earned it.